Did I just disconnect myself? I can't tell. I'll find out in a few seconds. Let's see. I think I'm all right. It looks like I'm all right. Let's see if I can tell. Yep, I heard a volume. Okay. I didn't disconnect myself. I thought I was talking and I wasn't talking, and now I'm just double checking to make sure I am talking. Okay. I didn't disconnect myself. All right, there we go. All right, now let's get to the chat line too at the same time. It looks like a quiet day. Not even Robin's saying hi. I'm out here all by myself. It's okay. I'm happy. It's okay. Righty, let's see what's going on here. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And it is Friday, so I don't expect a lot of people around. What do we got going on here? Let's take a look and see. Let's see where we at the moment. Let's go to the dollar index. We got that up on J4X. Also, you can see the wholesale trade data came out, I guess. And let's see what's going on here. That says it was down 1.4% month over month. Oh, there you go. Let's see if Robin can hear me. Can you hear me, or?
Yeah, can't you see me in the chat?
No. Let me refresh that too. Something's. It's all. It's Friday. We're all being weird. Let's try that again. No, I see nothing in the chat. That's really odd.
There, I'm saying good morning to
Yeah.
and then you asked if we could be heard or if you were all right.
You hear me though, right?
You're good, yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure why the chat. Let me see if I.
There's 5 people watching.
Yep, I see that too. I'm not sure why I don't see the chat line. Hide chat. Open chat. Let me do this. Let me just reopen it again. Go like that. Let me try reopening it again.
YouTube is glitchy.
Yeah, I guess that's how it works. Let's see. At least I'm up and running. Let's see. Here we go. And no, it's not doing it. I'm not sure why. Top chat. No, live chat. Let me click on that. No, the chat line's not. Oh, let me go further down. Maybe somehow or another it's just found a way to shift itself. I've seen that happen once before, where it was way, way down. No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the chat line whatsoever. So,
I'm the only one in there in the chat, but it says there's like
okay.
people.
Well, give me a ring if someone asks a question, okay? And I'll keep on trying to refresh it or something like that and see if I can get it to work.
All right.
All right. Alrighty. Anyhow, it's Technological Friday. That's what it comes down to. Technological Friday. All right, let's just take a look at the dollar and the index. You can see over here, that's the euro. It's looking very firm there. And you can see there, the dollar is kind of flat, not doing anything after yesterday's little sell-off. Boy, at one point they had popped it up even. It was kind of crazy. And so that makes total sense in what we got going. And there's not much, from there to go, Now, I'm not sure why the chat line is not being reflected. It's always something around here. It is amazing. It's, the days of standing in a pit and screaming and yelling and being able to stand next to someone and talk to them. I do miss that. Not the screaming and I like the screaming and yelling. You hear how many times I've changed my voice and goof off. I always enjoyed that. It's one of the only places you can get away with that, being psychologically weird. And not well. In these times, anybody can be psychologically weird. Ah, there we go. Just saw that, Robin. I saw the hello. That's good. All right, that's good. Whatever was, it's working now. That's all that counts. All right, so. Just punch a hello in there every couple minutes just to make sure it's functioning. So you can see there the dollar index, moving down, relatively comfortable. You can see over in Chicago Quant, you can see how it's pretty much unchanged for the day, up a little bit. You can see we're flirting with the weekly sell. The fast algo had broken down at the beginning of the week, and now the slow has joined in. And obviously, it kind of makes some sense to me. The combination of inflation, interest rates. If we're not raising rates here, then you sell dollars. That would make even more sense than usual. And that's pretty much. I mean, it's the classic fundamental. I mean, we can't really hang our hats, or in other words, we can't, trust the fundamentals anymore because they seem to be so distorted at any given time. But overall, just it is nice to see it actually function on some level now. The fundamentals. It's like, yay. All right. What else can we say about it? I guess you can say on J4X we're at 10 in the green, and we're at 17 in the yellow when it comes to the two algorithms right there, or in this case here it's the two stochastics. And our Hinky-Ashkies are all red, so that pressure is on. Over here on Chicago Quant, you see lots of red dots and some greens jumping in, but overall it's been in the sell just like over here on a daily basis. And I'm sure we are generating let's see what the weekly sell shows here right now. There's a weekly. It must be generating a red by now. Yep, look at that. Generating a red. So, it's showing you that pressure. You can see that the weekly is 74 in the yellow and 52 in the green. So the pressure is on there too. Robin, send out another high or buy or, something just to make sure that the chat line is functioning. So yeah, that's the action we're seeing there. From there we can drift over to we'll go to day, and we'll go to the euro. Let's take a look at that euro and see what the euro is up to. We see it over on Chicago Quant. It's definitely running very firm and steady, and you can see the same thing on J4X. The yellow line, the slower, is moving at, 84, and the green is at 89. So it's confirming that strength. And then we jump over to, where is it at? Right there. Jump over to here, and you can see that right there. Same thing. The strength is there. It's not roaring. Yesterday was the big move. Good. Perfect. I saw the yo. Excellent. The currency pairs should, and gain against the dollar. And when we don't see that, that's when we start to wonder. Like yesterday, we saw, I think the yen jumped up pretty aggressively. As I sip my tea, I think they jumped up into the 42s now, and we'll see that in a few minutes. Cable looked very firm, also very, very firm. The euro cable pairs trade, let's just show you where that's at right there. You see it's in a sell for a few days in here. I don't have the dots on here. I'm not sure why I don't have the dots, but it doesn't matter. And then you can see we've been in a weekly sell since up in here when it comes to the euro GBP. It's been pressuring down from the... Let me put my cheater glasses on for a second here. Basically, it was in the 88-ish area. Yeah, 88, 20s area, something like that. And now we're trading in the 85, yes, 85, 40 area. So, since we've gone on that weekly sell, let's put that in there. Right there. Talk about a win, huh? Right there, and right there, and right there. There it is. It's been in that weekly sell now for 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, going on an 8th week as we speak here, and it doesn't look like it wants to turn. Look at that. What's interesting is you can see on the manifold here, the fast broke down with the green, and look how fast the slow got through it. The slow algorithm had broken even lower and through the manifold right here. As I always say to you, when it breaks the manifold on the upside or the downside, that's a guarantee that it's going to get into a buy. And like it did here, even if it's short-lived, we had 4 or 5 days of upward rally, and then in this case here, it goes into the weekly sell off the close of right here. I guess that's the Friday. Yeah, I think that's the Friday. Let's see, let me just double check. 26, 27, 28, and then it must go on. The first was that same week, maybe? I'm a little confused here. 28. Maybe that was the Friday. What month is that? That is. Oh yeah, that's right. That was the Friday. Okay. So it goes into the sell on the Friday, confirming totally. But at this point, it broke down right here, and then we were in a sell, and it's the whole action and so forth. I don't need to remind you unless you traders ask anything you like. Yes, yes. I want to see the chat line move. I do. So yeah, you can see the cable has actually been gaining against the euro, and then let's drift over to. I did show you the euro, yeah. The cable. There's the cable there, and let's put the cable up over on J4X too. Right there. Lots of strength there. Towards the end of the range, of course. Look at that, 90. Is that 92? 92, almost 93. Boy, is this thing pressing hard. Whew. That's 88. The slow is at 88. This thing's really pressing up. And then, so the money is moving away from the dollar into the majors. That's what we used to refer to them, the six majors. That's what it was. So there used to be the six majors. Before QE, there was the six majors. I've said that 3 times now in a row. And that was the euro, the yen, the British pound, the Canadian dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss saltine, the franc, and then last one was the kroner. And once QE got going, then a lot of the other pairs that were minor pairs became more active because of the quantitative easing. But you can see here, the majors are lifting up nicely. Now let's take a look at Swiss. Swiss is in the sell. I know it did that. It's been in the sell for a couple of days ago. And at the same time, the weekly fast had broken below at the beginning of the week, and now the slow has joined in, and looks like they're going to press this thing into a weekly sell with no problem. It's still Friday. It's still it still hasn't busted that manifold on the bottom side, but it's below the zero line. So being a Friday and below the zero line, it's pretty much, it will take some real Herculean effort to get it not to close in a weekly sell. And you can see the sell has been relatively, fine, that type of thing. Well, let me just answer this one text. All right, so from there, now we get over to what I'm really hungry to look at, and that is I'm really hungry to take a peek at the yen, because we've been, I don't want to use the word perplexed, but because we've seen many a time, over the decades, the yen can walk, take its own path, compared to all the rest of the pairs trades on the planet, and just do its own thing. Now yesterday, they ran it up. You can see that there. Let's put it up on J4X too at the same time. Let's see. Yen. There's yen. And so, let's see. So, at this point, you see yesterday, that's yesterday. Let's just double check it. Is that yesterday? 12, 14, 15? Yeah, today's the 16th. And so yesterday they took it up and failed. That was interesting. They brought it back up, it was just closed up a little bit. Then this morning or today, they've done the same thing again, and it's trying, is it not? It hasn't taken out the high of 141.90? Or is that 50? Got to put those cheaters on. The numbers are so small. 141.50, and today's high is 141.40. So it hasn't taken out yesterday's high. We are flirting with it at this point. Now what does it say? 141.64. What am I missing here? Oh, that's 17. That's what it is. Okay, not 64. It's 141.16. Okay, so Yeah, it hasn't taken out yesterday's high, but it's still showing all that strength. And we've been in the buy, and we're in that weekly buy. For what is it now? The fast. Let's move that zero line down. You can see in the yen, the fast has been in a weekly buy since back in April 8th. The slow joined in the middle of the week on April 20th. Is that April 20th? Yeah, that's April 20th right there. So about a week and a half later, it joined in the middle of the week, closed there, and it's been in a buy since, basically the 135-ish area, I guess you could say. There's 134. That's 136. So it's been kind of flirting in the 136-ish area with all of it in buys. We've run up to 138, fell back down to 30. We fell back to where it started, and then joined in again. And obviously we were in a weekly buy, so there's no way you're thinking about playing any sells. You only play the long side. And there's another win, another good one there. There's another win, as we would say around here. Then there's another win there, and it was okay. It was not the best. Gave you opportunity to make a little money, and then you get a sell here, and now we're back into it again. It looks like, in some ways, it looks like something like this or something like this is going on. This. Let's see. Is there any that have that same characteristic where it closed down, and it didn't take out the top? I guess there. And then it might digest for a day or two in the 40s, 41, 42, and then it may just keep on flying. I like that, Robin. Nice flag. Arr, me buckos. Arr. Tractor, I like that. That's cool. A John Deere. Yeah, that's the pressure we see at this point in time. See that pressure on the upside. And what else can we say about any of this stuff? I guess that's about it. That's the yen. And like I said, the currencies, that's like the second most, I guess that's the second most active currency in the world. So you have the euro, the second largest economy. Arg. Good. I'm glad. I'm seeing all the chat line now. This is good. Thank you. Keep it up. Every so often, just throw one out there just to double check. The yen is the second most active currency in the world after the against the dollar, compared to the euro. Obviously, the euro is the second largest economy in the world, and Japan's probably like the third largest economy in the world, and then Britain is probably like the fourth, and then from there it kind of branches off. I guess it's hard to say what's next. China is a very rare, odd situation. Without America, it's nothing. At the same time, it hates America. And is not working very hard to be friendly. Let's put it that way. And so they're very competitive and aggressive against us, and they're not like competitive in a good way. They're just being nasty. And so and maybe it's right when you see all the criminality that we have going on in Washington with Joe Biden and the criminal family that he has. They've made tens of millions of dollars on bribes and criminal activity. It really makes it, we're not really viewing the foreign mindset. I mean, we don't know how much, he has, I don't know if he's blackmailed them. Maybe he's been blackmailing them. For a country that can't bail out, $50 or $100 million delinquencies. China can't bail out simple, cheap delinquencies. You have to imagine that Biden basically got over $1 billion or $2 billion from the Chinese government to manage money, and we don't know how much money he demanded up front for himself. So, in many ways, China may be like angry, like looking at like Yankee dog, you criminal, Maybe they thought when they helped with COVID to get rid of uh, Trump. Maybe they thought that as a survival thing for themselves. Then they saw it as an opportunity. So I'm not going to beat them up in that fashion because we don't know. In other words, we're seeing the numbers now. Biden family's up to around 35 million now. It's accounted for that they've criminally accumulated, and so we're going to see that play out over the next 6 months to a year. The FBI's been protecting them. See, that's the thing is that if you're a foreign government and you're watching the Federal Bureau of Investigation protect criminals in our government, how else do you deal with us? In some ways, maybe the Chinese are more right than I realize. And same thing with the Russians and other countries in the world. Now, I'm not too positive about the Ayatollah in Iran and so forth. I think they've been bozos for a long while, killing people. But the others, they're just simple dictatorships, and so in some ways, maybe it does justify some of their nastiness, because maybe Biden has been pulling their tail for a long time. It's like a cat that you keep on pulling the tail on. Sooner or later, it wants to turn around and claw you. And so, I guess it's that Al Einstein thing. So when you're looking at the financial markets and you're trying to understand the action, in some ways it's relative to where you're seeing the point of view from. Lightning bolt. I like that. That's good. And that's something to think about. So, in other words, for as weak as China is, you would think that it would be much more, communicating, much more friendlier. Maybe they're just being blackmailed by the criminal family. By the president of the United States is a criminal organization. It's what can you do? I guess as time comes on, and when we finally see all the all the stuff that's going on, maybe then we'll really be able to judge things much clearer. All we know is right now the European Union is the second largest economy. We know Japan is the third. We know Britain is the fourth. We know Germany's in there somewhere. And how you measure, China is obviously, it's not the second largest economy in the world. It's just a very active economy with, exporting things people buy from them. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But the bigger answer is they've not been able to bail themselves out for simple things like Evergrande and so forth. They allowed things to go under for incredibly small amounts of money if you're the second largest economy in the world. In other words, $40 million, not billion, not 40 billion, 40 million. Same. It was, I think, to be exact, it was 48 million to be exact. And then again, another time they let another domestic company go bankrupt, and they bailed everybody out. And if they didn't bail out everybody in China, then you could understand it better. But they bail out the Chinese domestically and then let the foreigners lose money on small amounts. That's the thing that always confuses me. How do you allow, if you really want to be a world power financially, and that's what they claim they want to be, how do you allow foreign investors to lose money and at the same as you prop up domestic investors? See what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if they said, okay, Evergrande is poorly managed, it's going out of business. Okay, fine. That's capitalism. That's the marketplace. And then they go and bail out the domestic investors, the Chinese, and they allow the foreign investors to lose their money. And you're not talking about, like I said, it's not like it's $30 billion or $40 billion. You're talking about $48 million, and I think there was another payment of $56 million. They're too small a number to allow. If you really want to be a world power financially, you don't allow that to happen, especially for a minuscule amount of money of $50 million. But they do. So right off, it shows you they don't have the ability to be a world financial power. Let alone be, they don't even have a currency to be, they want to replace the dollar, but they don't have a currency. So I mean, they got to have a currency first that is not just a unit for exchange, but it has to trade. It has to trade every day in open markets and let the world have, some influence on the, like Turkish lira. As much as it's getting beat to death, it trades every day live. So it's gone. And the ruble, same way. As much as if it's been beat to death, it still trades live every day. But the Chinese yuan does not. So that's that. Okay. So then you see the yen here. I was just making the case why the yen is the third largest economy in the world. And then from there we go over to where do we go? Oh, we go over to the Turkish lira. Yeah, we take a look at the Turkish lira right there, and you can see it's kind of stalled. It's it hasn't broken the 26 today, or maybe it has. Let's go put it up on Chicago. Let's see right there. Right. Let's see, where's that at? I know I'm missing it. There it is. Yeah, see, I think the high might be just 26 installed. Is that right? The high is 25.99. Oh, I got to put the cheaters on again. Where are those glasses? I think it's 9989. No. Yeah. Yesterday the high was 26.0194. Today it is 25.9599. That's what it is. So, it's drifting constantly up. There's probably more shoes to drop. We keep on thinking now, as long as we're in a weekly buy, I'm looking for a target of 31 at this point. Now, when it gets there is, anybody's guess. We're in a daily buy for a few days. Maybe they're going to pop it again. Maybe it'll be a bad weekend. Who knows? Maybe it'll be 3 weeks from now. Maybe it'll be 7 weeks from now. Maybe it won't happen at all. But as long as we're in a weekly buy, I think it's going to happen. That's the way I look at it. Oh, I like that spiral. Cool. WD again. Robin, nice one. And then from there, we go over to, from the Turkish lira, we go over to the Mexican peso. It's very firm against the dollar. It's one of the major bricks. It is the major brick. That's what it is. It's the major brick. M brick, as we call it. And you can see here, it's holding very firm, not letting go. It doesn't care. It's like the honey badger. It don't care. And if we tighten that up and we'll see why that line is there. I guess what it is, it's extrapolating. Let's see what Fibonacci it's extrapolating. It's extrapolating the 261.80. Wow, what is that? So is that like the 26? And then you can see it was 16180, and then it was, I guess there was a one. It must have been I guess that's the 78. Maybe, is that what that is, Robin? On the Fibonacci, is that really like the 78 in the end, or is that the 23? What is that? It's extrapolating something like that. So it's come down and met that one. Notice when it did the 16180, it did seem to hover around it. Let's express that a little bit better. See how it treated it like a base, lifted up a couple times, broke down. Then when they said they were joining the BRICS, we got that type of action for a quick pop of about a week and a half. Then it became the resistance and broke down, and now we are parked on the 2618 versus, let's see, can you see that? I think you can, right? Let's see. Yeah, you can see that right there. So it's at the 2618 versus the 1618. And that's just part of the Fibonacci sequence. Golden ratio, yeah. Yeah, it's some type of extrapolate. Let's see what let me just click on the indicator. It's called Fibonacci retracement price lines. So it's a retracement from some area I identified at one point. I used it as a, let's see what I identified. Let's see, how do we do this without wrecking this poor thing? All right, so let's see if I can highlight it. That's not it. There it is right there. And let's see. So we're seeing that one. And the next one below it is, what is the next one is 3618. Where did I start that from? Where's the starting point? Is it the black? I see. The 168 was the starting point of it. That's what that is. Yeah, so the black line was the origination. That, I think I identified at the time, that target zone, as something that had been a very strong base for a long time, going back years. Let's see if we can get that up on J4X. And let's look at, what is that price? The price is basically 1867. Let's put a weekly up on, what is that, the Turkish? Oh, that's the Mexican peso. Let's put a weekly up on the Mexican peso and see if we can identify that a little bit more for the traders out there, because that's definitely something to pay attention to. It's done. It did its job. Let's put it that way. What I did is, I remember now what I did. Bullseye. That's a good one. I identified a base for the Mexican peso at the time. That's what we did. We identified that. We're going to make it a whole screen too, like that. Now let's put a weekly in there. And we may even go to a monthly. So what we did is, going back, here, let's let it load up. Because it's interesting the way it acts around it. It does a good job. So, let's see, we go like that. That's back to 2000. I see, there it is. It's that base. That base that seemed to, be a big support area. So what I did is I took that base, and that's the black line. Okay, and that's all the way back to 2018. And then what happened was, I guess, let's see, where is that? That's back in 2016. I guess what it did is it moved up and became a base in here. I guess that's what it is right there, maybe? What is that? That's 17, right? And what is that? That is 18. So that it ran up to the 18.6 area, fell down, ran up to it again, fell down, and started to support the, what is that, 19? So it started supporting the high 18s. And then it bottomed on that. That's a 17. Is that a 17? Let's see if I can mark that. Yeah, so that's what it did. It started the base on that. I guess this was the base. I guess this is what we did. Back in 2017, we looked at this base, saw the way it jumped, saw the way it played back down, saw the way it was heading into this area. It's like the mathematical mean of this whole move. Looking at the high, looking at the low, and then that was the center math mean somewhere along the line. And this probably was the breakout point where it defines the bottom right there. So I saw that and looked at the distance that it traveled all the way up to there, and this was probably the center of it right there. So that's how I do those things. And so I go with, I'm not a big fan of symmetry. All right, Robin, good job. I like that. Arg, that's a good one. Yeah, the rebel, the pirate flag. Yeah, so that's what we did. We identified the mathematical mean. In other words, I used symmetry. I don't always, like I said, I don't always agree with symmetry on all aspects. In other words, there are some things that are symmetrical, and there are things that are not symmetrical, and they're dynamic at the same time, and they give more proof and evidence of future events than symmetry is almost like... there are times, due to our math, I can actually identify symmetry when it's accurate and when it's not. Symmetry is not always accurate. When you're looking for the mathematical mean, what is that? Tomato? I think that's a tomato. Yeah, so that's how we did that. I hope everybody understands that. I think I'll label this one, this webinar that way also at the same time. In other words, we'll talk about symmetry in the markets. Symmetry when it works and doesn't. That's what it is. Yeah. And that's the truth of it all. Ooh, I need to kill that volume. I'm checking something now to see if I'm right there. So yeah, that's the answer to that. That makes it totally make sense to me. All right, now let's go back to that. And so what it did is it found the center line, and now what it's doing is it's playing with that. And that was the black was the center line of the symmetry, or the symmetry of the low and the high. With let me just go back to it on J4X so you can see what I'm mumbling about. Where's that mouse at? Yeah. So what we were doing is we were looking at this high, and let's see if we can do this, and this breakout, and how we defined the breakout was these highs where it took off from here, right there. So that's that was a couple of years of action from 2011 all the way out to 2015, 5 years, 4 years. And so when it broke that, I started thinking of that as the support on the way down. And then what happened was it never went back to meet it. Then it generated this high here. It did it here, and then it did it here. And so then that's when I took and defined it through the black line. That was the center point of those two. I hope that makes sense to you all. Oh, I like that. Dollar yen. So, that's where we are with the major brick. That's where it's at right now. Now let's go over to South Africa and take a look at the second most active brick. And there it is again today, gaining a little bit against the dollar. And we think it's more of it's beyond a dead cat bounce at this point. It's definitely, things are changing for the better down there, obviously. We haven't seen the news about it, but obviously the currency's reflecting it, because as you can see, let's put it up on J4X too. What am I doing? I'm trapped back in 20. Let's make it the whole screen and I can move it myself that way. There we are. There we go. Now what I want to put up there is I want to put up the South African Rand. Well, let's put up the South African Rand. We'll go look at gold on ours. So you can see there it's been moving down. This thing is trading at 6.8, is it? 7 now. This is 7.3. So it's still having that downwardly pressure on it. And let's go check it out right. Where is it at? Right there. Let's look at gold. And there's the gold. Now it's starting to lift up the last 2 days in gold, and we are seeing the South African Rand move down. It's doing exactly what what we were seeing for many, many years until this political turmoil. So now that maybe the political turmoil is starting to back off, we'll see. From there, we'll go finish off with the Canadian. Let's see. Canadian. Wrong chart. There it is. And there is the Canadian. And we're going to take a look at... Oh, let's do this. Let's take a crude oil. I was right the first time. Let's put Canadian up on J4X. Right there. And you see Canadian has been moving down. It's red for the day. And that usually means stronger oil. So let's take a look at the oil. think it closed in a buy yesterday, does it? Or is it playing with it today? Something like that. Yeah, it's... Now, why is that giving us that? I thought it closed in the buy. And then, let's see this one. Yeah, it closed in the buy. And today may be the last day for that contract, too. Or maybe Monday, something like that, one or the other. So we're having we're seeing delivery pressure because the front month now is trading at. Let me just go back and look at where it's trading at. The front month, the back month is at 71.12, and the front month is trading at 70.88. So it's 24 cents underneath now. We've seen it go from $1 and change no more than a week and a half ago down to a minus 24. So the swing is basically telling us that some people don't want to take delivery. So they're dumping it a little bit there to not take the delivery. There we go. All right, now, and also you can see today it's flirting with the daily buy too, but it's having its issues. It's green and red. So the front month is having a hard time about that, but the back month is what I trust at this point because of the delivery situation. So you can see it went into the buy today. It's doing that same hesitation. It slid into the sell on Friday of last week, and it's right back into the buy again now. Not having any problems whatsoever. And you can see it's through the manifold. So, it's, Canadians should gain against the dollar. So in other words, we should see this Canadian chart like you see it now with all that red. It should keep on doing that at this point. I mean, of course, you're going to have your bounces and your twists and turns, but let's see if oil gets back up into the 75s or 80s or something like that once this delivery issue gets going or it gets over with. Let's put it that way. All right, from there we march over to. Let's see. So what we've done is we've cleaned off the all the currencies. Now, if Benny shows up, hear me, Benny? I'll start to look at your stuff if you'd like. Pop in and we'll take a look. Either way, I'm putting up your GBP AUD up there so you can see that right there. Now that when it went down and I don't know. I think that lost money. I don't think that when ever has gained any money. And now we closed in the buy yesterday, so it's an actual loss. It has to happen, people. Doc can't be 100% right. We're in the high 80s and the low 90s at times, but it's impossible to be 100% right. So it looks like we have a loss there. The math actually lost, and I would imagine the next sell will be a good winner. It should be a really good winner. Now, in this case here, this is GBP AUD, and it's just kind of bouncing around more than anything else, but it's been a good profitable trade. It has some real, has some real solid action. It's staying in the weekly sell. Excuse me, right there. You can see that. It's not going to climb into the weekly buy unless they really explode on the upside, and I really have my doubts there. There's no doubt, that the GBP is strong. We see it gaining against the euro. And in this case here, GBP is it has been losing against the Aussie, but it's trying to dig its heels in and build a base and take off on the upside. Oh, I like that one. That's a goodie. Oh, I like the lollipop too. Lollipop, lollipop, bum bum ba da da da. Yeah, so we'll see if the next sell makes all kinds of good money. More than likely, the odds are something like 75% of the time it will. All right, now from there we go over to where do we go over to? Okay, so that's Benny's stuff. We'll go over to let's go check out the metals and the energies. So let's go to silver. We've seen gold. Gold's flirting with a daily buy. Silver, I believe, closed in the daily buy last night. Right there. You can see that pressure on it right there. What else can we say about any of that? I guess that's about it. It looks like it's going to close in the weekly and daily buy. It's trying very hard to get through that manifold. If they do jack it a little bit, you want to be long next week. You want to be long this week to get to next week. Yeah. Now, where do we go from there? Copper's in a daily buy and a weekly buy, it looks like. Right there. You see, ooh, let's move that down. So we can basically get rid of that at this point. Because look at it, it's through the manifold. It's in the buy. Right there. I think it was yesterday it went into the buy. There it is. So there we are right there. You can see it's been in the daily buy since something's wrong with that. Let's see if we can fix that. That line wouldn't be there if we weren't in a buy. I bet that's supposed to be lower. Settings. If you could do that, see what happens there. Okay, that's it right there. All right, that makes sense. So it's a third day now. Okay. Boy, that's trying to tell us that it was in the buy that day. We'll have to double check the 12th. Let me see what the 12th looks like. Where do I go for the 12th? Let's see. All right, we're not going to worry about that at the moment. You know what? I'm going to worry about it. I want to see it. Whoa, look at all the Statue of Liberties. I like that. Me likey. Let's see. Let me go to the exchange and see what that shows. And there's copper. And this is the July contract. Let's put that up there. And yeah, that's what the problem is. The 13th is messed up. That's messed up. That's what that is. And let's see. Is that right? The 9th? Let me just double check the 9th. The 9th is could be fixed. The low is much lower. And then the 12th is all messed up. Let's fix the 12th. Let's fix both of those. So let's see, HG. Where are you? HG. Huh. There it is. HG. Edit. Load. And let's just fix and see what that looks like when it's correct. So there's the 9th. Let's fix the 9th to start off with. Alright, that's easy. Okay. Then, where's the settlement at? Okay, that's wrong. Okay. So let's fix that. Then, let's see if those numbers are right. That's correct. That's correct, and that's correct. Okay, so now let's fix the 12th. The 12th needs to be fixed. There's the 12th. And let's fix that. The high is wrong. There it is. And then let's see if the low is right. The low is okay. I can get away with that. And the close is accurate. Good. All right, now let's put that up there. Let me just double check the 13th. There's the 13th. Yeah, I think the 13th is screwed up too. So let's fix the 13th. So we're looking at that's that. And that is that. Okay, so let's fix that. There we are. And the settlement. Is the settlement right? No, that's wrong too. There we go. Now we'll see how this all looks. Excellent. Yes, excellent. Okay, here we go. Oh, you know what? The 14th is messed up too. No wonder it's looking screwy. The 14th is messed up just as much. Alright, so there's the 14th. And then from there, there we go. And then that's messed up. Wow. So even the 15th is messed up. Psh, I hate this sometimes. I really do. That's there. Yeah, that's okay. And then let's fix that. There we go. All right, now you're going to see all the changes, and they'll match up to the lines we had going on. Here we go. Ooh, choo-choo chains. Woo, 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 woo. Let's see. There we go. That's it. Look at that. That looks better. Yeah. See how the green line now matches up correctly. This was the cell right there. And it went down to there. That makes sense. This gets moved over one like so because there's nothing there on that. Alright, good. Good, good, good. Now it's better. So let's save that too. File, save workspace, save workspace. Let's put copper in there. Right there. There we go. Alright, see that difference now? It makes total sense. It looks like the charts. You can see the volatility, you know, compared to the other bars, how it's getting wider. The action is coming in. I guess in many ways they feel like the world economy might start to perk up a little bit more. Would be nice. You know, markets like to anticipate the future. That's what they do. They anticipate the future. So in their heads right now, money managers, which are paid to invest, are just trying to do that. They can under invest on their portfolio, or they can over invest, but they've got to invest or they'll get sued. Doesn't matter making money or not. And that's what the strangest thing is about all that in the end. It's like, you know, it has nothing to do with making money, which is really weird. But, you know, it's easier to sue to make money than it is to trade to make money for most of these guys. Just shows you the lack of abilities. All right, traders, everybody have a safe and smart weekend. It's a 3-day weekend for us in the States. But I will be here on Monday doing the webinar. So, happy trails to you. Until we meet again Monday. Happy trails to you. To all our trading friends. Later, traders.